well, speaking of things that look bad, we also, we also have Bill Maher, who has some opinions about the anti-war encampments at universities, and he's here in discussion with somebody who's also named Bill and who's also a comedian, but who I like about 10,000 times more than I like Bill Maher.
Oh yeah, easy. That's an easy one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of the Bills, I think we know who's the better Bill right there.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, that's like really out of the Bills I can think of in general, but certainly the comedian Bills. This is, gotta go Burr every time. But yeah, they're discussing various things, but they're about to get to the encampments.
Headliner.
I could see you not having a good time in Boston. I could see them going.
That was a long time ago.
Dude, you have. This is a hacky reference, but you totally have the energy of you forgot to give out the homework assignment, Mrs. So-and-so.
Boston, you may have heard, is a college town. There's quite a few intellectuals there. The audience that's very sophisticated, they like my show. Okay, we all have our niche.
Oh God, you're so fucking highbrow.
I mean, we haven't even gotten to the part I wanted to talk about yet, but I really love this exchange we just watched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole like hour and a half is just Bill Burr just needling Bill Maher just like that. So if you've never wanted to watch an episode and you're enjoying this right now, just watch the whole thing. You'll have a great time.
I talked about this on my channel too, but I watched his entire Jerry Seinfeld interview.
Oh, yeah.
And this is kind of like Bill Maher's show now, is just he invites people on and they're annoyed by him the whole time. Because that's exactly what Jerry Seinfeld was doing too. Bill Maher kept bringing out all this old like crap, like all this old like old flyers from like comedy shows. And literally Jerry Seinfeld was just like, why do you have all this crap, Bill? I don't care. It's basically, this is his show. It's just people like, come on, Bill, like, what's your problem? They're just like moderately annoyed by him.
I also just really enjoy the fact that Bill Maher, like when he hears Burr saying, I can see you not, hitting well in Boston, because you have the energy of the kid, who's telling the teacher that she forgot to assign homework. That like the way that Bill Maher takes that is like, oh, well, you're saying that the Bostonians are stupid. It's like, I don't think that is what he was saying.
No, he was saying they don't like annoying guys, I think.
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh no, actually, Bill, Boston is full of highbrow intellectuals who appreciate my sophisticated comedy.
Well, it's true.
Does your shit jokes float above ours?
A little bit.
Why? Because you say Setmet tank or something? something about shit.
Wait, what was I just going to tell you? God damn it.
Nothing interesting.
No, it was. What were we talking about? Something.
No, we were talking about going to Boston.
Boston. Thank you. Yes. I love Boston. It loves me. That's been going. I did a special there in 2007. I have a love affair with the Boston audience. We are like this because they're just very smart. What can I tell you? I know you hate to hear that, but
no, it just sounds like it sounds like you have a gig coming up in Boston and the tickets are a little slow.
No, they're never slow in Boston. Never slow in Boston. But
do you perform in Cambridge?
Cambridge.
That's where Harvard is. For a guy like
you,
I
know that.
That's got to be the Taj Mahal. I love that.
I hate Harvard. Are you kidding? Have you heard what's going on college campuses these days?
I don't watch the news.
You don't realize that college campuses erupted with the kids demonstrating for Hamas? They are in with the terrorists.
They were for the Palestinians.
Well, it's sort of the same cause.
Come on, Bill.
Why? Are you?
I'm on the side of the kids.
Yeah, that's easy to say. No one wants to see kids dead. This is a war.
That was very brave of you to say.
Well, that's so easy to say. You don't want dead kids. I mean, that's come on, that's cheap. So like us serious people like me and the highbrow Harvard intellectuals who love my comedy show, like we understand that sometimes you have to kill some kids.
Yeah, I don't know. Like watching this, it just seems like why is Bill Maher still doing this? Maybe almost, like if a guy like Bill Burr, who seems to like not even devote a whole lot of his like thinking to like what's going on in the world and politics, is like has a more nuanced view of this. It's like, why not take like the Jerry Seinfeld route, Bill Maher, and just talk about like Pop-Tarts and yogurt and stuff, like I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, this is like just the fact that like I would also say, just on a completely serious note, like he says they're protesting for Hamas.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's lazy. It's sort of like, like I don't know, like just you saw like somebody say something on cable news or something, and you're like, I'll just repeat that on the show. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's and it's also kind of amazing because look, Bill Maher has a bad enough record that you have to kind of search for things he's been right about. But, he was at least, somewhat critical of the war in Iraq, when it was about to start. I was watching him back then, it seemed like whatever wavering he was doing, he was basically against it. I can remember him on Real Time saying in so many words that he was glad that the peace marches, were going on. So it's like, hold up. Like the same lazy ass demonization that you just did with the anti-war protests about Gaza. I mean, why not say that like what's the difference between that and saying that people who were protesting Iraq in 2003 were protesting for Saddam?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's very weird. Did you ever see, I feel like maybe I sent this to you. Do you remember that show Dinner for Five? Did you ever watch that? It was Jon Favreau did a show where he would have celebrities come on, and they would, the format would be they would eat dinner and they would film it. And it was basically like an interview of like 5 famous people. And there's one where it's Bill Maher. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the funniest clips ever. It's Bill Maher, and I think it was like Alanis Morissette, maybe somebody like that, and Bob Odenkirk. And Bob Odenkirk is doing the same thing. This is probably like 10 years ago, is doing the same thing that Bill Burr is doing to Bill Maher. People have been making fun of Bill Maher forever. Like, I think he's kind of a goof. And there's a part in that interview where Bill Maher goes, yeah, when I moved to Hollywood, I was originally like an actor. I was in a movie called Pizza Boy, all this. And Bob Odenkirk does one of the funniest things I've ever heard. He goes, oh, so you're just an actor giving us your political views. And I have it as a drop, actually. It's one of my favorite things. And when I see stuff like this, I always think that, like, he's just an actor giving us his political views. That's what it feels like right now. And he's just like,
You actually, believe it or not, they actually cut to that in the next minute.
Yes,
okay.
Please.
Okay, nice. Looking forward to that. It's just remarkably lazy and like, whatever. I'm happy to have anybody sound off about anything, but like, but it's just, anybody who's willing to like put like a minute of thought into it, I'm happy to have sound off about anything. But like this pro Hamas thing tells me that it's not. Also, I don't know why he's bringing up Pizza Boy. Like, by far the high point of Bill Maher's acting career was Cannibal Women in the Amazon Jungle of Death.
Oh man, I gotta watch that.
There's avocados somewhere in that title.
You're right. It's Cannibal Women. No, I guess maybe there's no Amazon in there. Maybe it's just Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
When did that come out? Is that like a 90s thing? 84. That's like around the pizza
I think
board.
It was after DC Cab.
Okay, so it's around the era when he was like he was hustling as an actor.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's 1989. So yeah, it's which 84 probably would have been more my guess, but yeah, there's a lot of 80s stuff going on in that movie. I actually enjoy the shit out of that, but
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird, like, I don't know, it's like a little bit of an Apocalypse Now parody. It's a lot going on, but
okay.
Yeah,
but,
and it's funny despite Bill Maher.
Yeah. Well, I kind of think Bill Maher is what he's asked to do in that movie is about, what he's good for.
Yes.
Right. I feel like he would be good as a bad teacher or something. Like he's maybe he's like the civics teacher at a public school, and he if you attach $10 to the test, he'll give you an A or something. Like that would be a good Bill Maher role.
He's supposed to. He thinks he's Indiana Jones, but he's absolutely inept at being Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I mean that's the character, and again, I think Bill Maher's particular energy is good for that character.
Absolutely.
But I think in real life, Bill Maher thought he was playing Indiana Jones in this movie.
Yeah, you know what? Synchronization, Dan. I'd actually be totally down to watch Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death with patrons in the Discord. Let's see if we can set that up. But in any case,
we got to do a movie segment on this show eventually for sure, because we're both equally, I think, especially that kind of movie, we're equally obsessed.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you were in LA,
that was so fun. Yeah, I loved rewatching that. That was great.
Yeah, we went to go see Evil Dead 2 in a theater near me. So
nice.
A farewell to arms, one of the greatest gags in a movie ever.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it was good too. It was an audience that really, knew and appreciated what it was watching. But
totally on board. Yes.
I know it sounds like
this is a war. No, I'm the one who's actually brave on this.
Pat yourself on the back.
It's easy to say I'm for the kids. Who's not for the kids?
Well,
it comes down to real hard-nosed decisions. Like a country.
Stop talking like you're a general.
A country got attacked. Israel got attacked.
I'm not saying that they didn't have a right to go back. I'm just sitting there going like, how do I look at
We're the only country in the world that they get attacked, and then as soon as they counterattack, it's like, well, we got to stop this shit now. Don't attack them. There's a very simple solution to all this problem in the Middle East. Stop attacking Israel.
Hey, you
Stop
just solved
attacking
it.
Israel.
You just solved it.
I actually
there you
did.
go. That's fantastic.
Anyway.
All right.
We don't need to get onto that.
Let's go to Russia and the Ukraine. How do you solve that one, Bill? Let me hear your hard-nosed decision about that. Well, let me ask you a question. How is war still legal? All the shit that's been canceled.
Legal.
Why is that still fucking legal?
Would you like a real answer to that? Because for something to be illegal, you have to have the capacity to enforce it. And you can't enforce against war, or else you have to go to war with the country that's going to war.
So at the end there, Bill is sort of plotting, like in this weird meandering way. He's like 80% of the way towards understanding the rationale for having the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice, and why these institutions should be much stronger than they are. I don't think he realizes that's where he's going, but he's really teetering on the edge of that realization. But this is also his, I mean, putting aside that his, I think that the whatever Hillary Clinton says about the kids not understanding the history, I would absolutely put a lot of money on any random student who is taken out of a protest having a greater understanding of the chain of causality leading up to what's going on in Gaza right now than Bill just showed. But also this thing about how he's taking the really brave position. It's like, why is this brave? Because Bill Burr will make fun of you for saying it. That's the brave thing. That's what you're standing up to. Because otherwise, it's I don't know, man. It seems like we had, at the encampment at UCLA, there was actual mob violence that was directed against the protesters. one of the protests at Columbia after there was actually like a kind of Charlottesville style lone wolf attack where somebody who's actually a member of the extended family of Meyer Kahana drove his car into one of the protesters. Certainly there have been lots of employers talking about blacklists. The Congress passed something called the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act that essentially redefines a lot of what protesters have been saying as a form of anti-Semitism. There are multiple senators who've been talking about putting campus protesters on the no-fly list, and I understand that last one's probably not going to happen, but I don't know. I mean, if we're just gonna do, I don't even think it's that important to question, but if we're gonna do an evaluation of which position it's braver to take, then maybe the fact that Bill Maher's liberal comedian friends will look at him funny if he says it isn't actually the thing that requires the most bravery to stand up to.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of CNN the past couple weeks, and I saw a Kevin O'Leary clip. You know that guy Shark Tank? I just call him Shark Tank, the bald guy. And he his whole thing was hey, if you keep, he's saying this to the student protesters. He was hey, if you keep protesting, you're gonna ruin your future. I'm not gonna hire you. I'll find out. I'll look at your. I'll do a deep dive on your backstory if you apply to work at whatever dumb scam company that guy started or whatever. And I won't hire you. That's so they're saying you're risking your future in the corporate world. That's closer to bravery to me than just some rich guy saying something that everybody else is saying. I would venture as far as to say that it's not very brave, actually, Bill.
Yeah, for Bill Maher to agree with Joe Biden and Donald Trump and the New York Times and
everybody, every mainstream thing. Yeah.
It's again, you're standing up to the possibility that Bill Burr is going to
give you a little bit of a hard time.
Yeah, exactly. It seems to me like you're probably okay. Even compared to all the people who've risked getting expelled from the university that it probably meant a lot to them to get into.
Mm-hmm.
That seems harder. But all right, let's watch one last little bit of this.
And we don't want to go to war with Russia over Ukraine. What would be the sense of making it illegal? Oh, that's really going to stop Putin? No. To stop people from going to war, you have to also put boots.
Can't sit down and talk it out. Why can't Putin do a podcast with the head guy? You just solved the Middle East on a podcast. Why can't they solve what they're doing on a podcast?
This is why this is not your thing.
Make some hard notes. It's not your thing. It's what you.
It is my.
It isn't your thing.
This is not your thing.
You're like that guy that has a fantasy football team and thinks he's a fucking GM.
No.
That's exactly what it is. Why am I fucking listening to you like you've done something? What have you done in Washington? Nothing.
No, I would never go to Washington.
It's beneath you.
No, it would. Look,
you would be the coolest fucking guy in Washington. You showed up with those boots
it would be so
and
easy.
no tie. They'd be oh my God.
It'd be so easy to
Did
be.
Kevin Bacon just come back to that Footloose town?
Kevin Bacon.
You can teach him how to dance, Bill.
I love that. It's beneath you. It's so funny.
Yeah, that was kind of perfect. You have been watching free public content from Give Them an Argument. To access every single episode of the show, the main show on Monday nights, all of the streams, all of the debate breakdowns, all of the patron-exclusive postgames on Monday nights, all of the patron-exclusive bonus episodes every week, and much, much more, go to patreon.com/Ben Burgis. I cannot resist ending this with, don't be foolish.